Okay, Rabotai, in Hilchot Beit HaKnesset, in Simon Kuf Nun Hey, in Dibra Madchil V'Yikba V'Chulu, over here the Biur Halakha brings down the importance when a person, he learns by himself versus a person learning with a group of people. There's a very big difference when you learn by yourself with another person or with 10 people. So the Biur Halakha says like this, V'hine etzem halimud. When we speak about learning itself, even when a person is learning alone, you fulfill the mitzvah, the positive commandment of learning Torah. Nevertheless, there is a mitzvah that a person try to go after learning with a group of people. If you have an option right now to learn by yourself from a sefer, which is also not bad, you're allowed to do it. Or you have an option right now to go learn with a chabur, with a Talmid Chacham, with a rabbi that's going to explain to you the Torah. It's better to go after a group of people where you're going to be able to learn and ask questions back and forth. Because when a person learns with a group of people, you have much more honor we bring to Hashem. And so too our rabbis say, become mikmod in many places. Right? When does Hashem have glory? When do we show Hashem glory? When there's a lot of people. That's why on Shabbat, if you pay attention regarding Kiddush, Birkat Hamazon, or if you want to fulfill somebody else's obligation, we say let one person say the bracha and let him fulfill everybody else's obligation. Why? Because the more people you have, the more glory you bring to Hashem. Same thing by learning Torah. It's not only for barakot. If a person has an option to daven in the shul, there's 10 people, or to daven in the shul, there's 100 people, and there's no talking, not there, and there's no talking, not over here, we're going to tell you go where there's a place 100 people. Why? Because you bring much glory to Hashem where there's many more people. So also by learning Torah, if you have an option to learn by yourself versus to learn with a group of people, you go with a group of people. Ukvar Amru Chazal, already our rabbis had said, Masech Berachot Avav, Sheyesh Nafkamina ben Mishel Omed Bichidi. There is a very big difference when a person learns by himself versus when he learns with another person. Even though a person who learns by himself, Hashem will give you the reward that you get, that's coming to you. Nevertheless, the words that you are saying when you learn Torah in the book of remembrance, the words of the Torah that you're saying, they're not going to be written in. Because you're learning by yourself. You get the reward for learning, but it's not written in the book of remembrance. Oh. But if you learn, say 1 or 2 people, or 3 people, or 4 people, does not matter. If you're learning more than yourself, automatically whatever you and the other person is saying, Hashem writes in the Sefer Zichronot, in the book of remembrance. Do you have any idea what I'm trying to say? Everything's written in the book of ledger, of remembrance. Like he says, Ne'emar alehem bekatuv, because the pasuk says on them, As the dibru yireh Hashem ish el re'ehu v'gomer. Then the God-fearing people spoke, a fellow man to the other. Meaning we see from over here when does Hashem write, when you learn Torah, when does Hashem write the words that you are saying? That's only when you learn with another person. But I want to make something clear. Not to say that he's not writing it in your own personal ledger. In your personal ledger, whatever you say gets written down. But this is even in the book of remembrance where everybody else can see. It's not only you. For what you say, what you do, everything is written down. But this is even higher. It's written in the book of remembrance when you learn with another person. And it's written in the book of remembrance before him. I want to make something clear over here. The Achronim, even the Rishonim, they bring down over here, they speak about what does this mean, the people that fear Hashem, and what does it mean, the people that actually think about Hashem's name. Rabotai, in order for your words to be written down in the Sefer Zichronot, don't think you're going to come to class, you and somebody else learning Torah, and in the middle of learning Torah, you're doing a lot of shtuyot. It's speaking about people which people are going to be written. People that have yiras shamayim. People that think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. People that literally, when they're learning Torah, they have yiras shamayim. They're not doing it haphazardly. They're taking the learning seriously. For sure, when you're learning with 10 people together, and then the Shekhinah comes before you. It precedes before you even begin learning. Even Masay Barachot, if you look over there, there's a very big difference. When it comes to 10 people, Hashem will not come unless there's 10 people in the minyan. When it comes for davening, But for learning, the Masech Berachot also brings down, for learning, if Hashem knows two people are going to be there just for learning alone, He comes before you guys even come. So whenever you have a person that has a set schedule, and there's only two people, you should know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes before you. So if you decide not to come that day, you say, okay, I'm going to off, what's the big deal? I'm not coming today or not tomorrow. That means right now you're making Hashem wait. Okay, Rabotai, it's a very big thing. Like the pasuk said that Hashem stood in His congregation. V'gam amru chazal, very important, Rabotai. I don't know how much to emphasize this. A lot of times when a person learns by himself, versus when you learn with a chavruta, right? What does the Gemara say? Or chavruta or mituta. Either you're going to have a chavruta, or either you either pick a partner to learn Torah with, or you either chas v'shalom pick death. A lot of us don't realize. A lot of us, unfortunately, we like to learn by ourselves. Even though we have other Rebbeim teaching, Talmidei Chachamim, we take a book and we learn by ourselves. And unfortunately, a lot of us even learn quietly. We do not realize how much mistakes we make. But that's not even the problem. Actually, that's a very big problem. But there's a greater problem than that. When you learn by yourself, the Torah will not be acquired the way when you learn with other people. Because when you learn with other people, the Talmid Chacham or Rabbah, you are interacting. You have a question, you ask. You don't understand something, you ask. You have a definition, you ask. You're able to slow down the whole process. But when you're learning alone, sometimes you don't understand, you move on, or Bichlal, you don't even continue learning, you give up. So he says over here about listen to this. V'gam amru chazal, our rabbi said, Ein haTorah niknet ela bechabura. When can a person acquire learning Torah that is going to be by him, is going to stick by him? Only when you learn in a group of people. Only then can it actually be acquired. Another position, if you learn at night. Except there's other many ways that you can acquire it. But one of the requirements is to learn with a chabura. Od amru chazal maseh berachot samach gibel ala pasuk hasket ushma Yisrael v'gomer. The pasuk says, pay attention and listen to the Jewish people. Asu kitot v'yisku b'Torah. They made groups and they learned Torah. Gam al yidei zeh noseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu panim l'Yisrael. We don't understand, whenever you are learning with a group of people, automatically you're making Hashem favor the Jewish people more, even if they don't deserve the proper mercy that is coming to them. Say Hashem chas v'shalom wants to do something that's right, but He sees the people are learning as in a group. Hashem will have to find favor with them, not to give them the deserved whatever is coming, and He's going to have to be much more merciful with them. Like it says in Tant B'Eliyahu in Perek Chav Gimel, Tishuvad HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'midadin shesho'el lefanav, lama hu noseh panim l'Yisrael, v'alo kitiv ha'el ha'gadol ha'gibur ha'nura asher lo yisa panim. Rabotai, because the strict judgment came before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and He said, Hashem, it says in your Torah how great you are, how big you are. You do not favor, you could never bribe HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So how are you bribed by the Jewish people? By showing them favor when they don't deserve it. He says like this. Ve'yeshiv HaKadosh Baruch Hu ech lo yiseh panim l'Yisrael v'chulu. Rabotai, he says, continue, but I want to just tell you over there, if you guys remember, that when does one have to say Birkat HaMazon? According from the Torah level, when do you have to say Ve'achalta, Ve'savata? Only when you ate and you were satiated, do you say Birkat HaMazon? What did the Jewish people say? Even if they're not satiated, even if they ate a kazayit, what are they going to do? They're going to say Birkat HaMazon. Hashem says, if they're going above and beyond from what I'm asking them, I ask them to be satiated, and they're not satiated and they bless, I will show them favor. It's a very big rule, Rabotai. A lot of times a person wants Hashem to show them favor, to overlook a lot of things. One of the things is sometimes to go beyond the letter of the law. Now, again, you have to be careful in what you do, but let me make it a little bit more practical. Somebody says something, somebody does something. At times you should overlook it, Rabotai. You go beyond. You don't go, okay, I'm going to take you to court. You scratched my car. You said this. I'm going to go to the bed. I'm going to divorce you. Chas v'shalom. You overlook it, Rabotai. You're able to overlook this. Hashem is also going to be able to overlook other things that a person does. So he says over here, what did Hashem answer him? Why does He show His favor? That was one of the reasons, because the Jewish people go above and beyond. But not only that, v'lo od ela, shehem melamdim et Torah, because they teach the Torah, v'yoshvim agudot v'oskim b'Torah. Do you know why Hashem favors the Jewish people, even though it's not coming to us? Because we're sitting in groups of people, and we're learning Torah and we're teaching Torah. This is what actually goes ahead and gives Hashem, that is in a way, if I could say it, Loleno, it's in a way we're bribing Hashem by sitting and learning in a group of people. And this is the importance of Rabotai. We don't understand what it means a lot. And I'll tell you something, there's a very big problem. The pasuk says, right, you have to learn, right? And you have to also teach. A lot of times you have a person that he wants to learn, but he doesn't want to pass down the information, which is a very big problem. The Torah should be actually passed down to other people also. He says, and so too is the minhag kehayom b'chol kehilot Israel. So too is the minhag in all the Jewish places. Shukavim lamod bechabura achar tefillah bebeit haKnesset v'omrim kadosh rabbanan. V'chulu rabotai. He continues over here and he says that this is the minhag that after a person learns Torah, what does he do? They make a group of people and they learn Torah. Rabotai, understand one thing. Doesn't have to be 10 hours, doesn't have to be 2 hours. As long as you have a set time of learning Torah, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. But as long as you are learning in the Chabura. Now I want to just tell you guys a very big chiddush. It's not a chiddush, but a very big secret into learning Torah. A lot of times when we learn Torah, we expect that everything that we learn, we're going to memorize. You agree with me or not? We think we remember. But you know, they said the law of familiarity, right? You put your car keys in a place, in your house, you put it, or you put your phone, 2 minutes later, where I put it? You don't know. But you're so confident that you know. Because you're so sure of yourself, you and your gavadik, you think you know everything. Hashem dafka makes you forget it. So what's Peshar Rabotai? Whenever you learn Torah, very, very important to write everything you learn. To do chazarot. If you don't do chazarot, what's the purpose of learning? I'm not telling you not to learn. People should learn. But they should do chazarot. But I want to just try to show you like this. If you let's just take 200 days in a week that you're able to do it. Forget about the holiday, Shabbat, take everything out. Give me 200 days in a year that you could actually write. If you take every single day, whatever you learn, 1 halakha, 2 halakha, 3 halachot, give me 2 halachot. In 200 days, you're going to have a sefer. You know what it means, a book or no? You got 400 halachot that you can do chazar over and over and over again. But what do? We want to learn more and more and more. And that's the advice of the HR. We don't realize. Rabbi, let's go more. Go ahead, just go more. You ever go to the ocean? You ever go swimming, coastal beach? Go more until you drown. Same thing with the Torah. Go more. Because you don't even know where you began, where you end, what you learn. And that's what the Yitzhar does. And this is the Yitzhar pushing you. Go, do it. Don't worry, go. That's what Rabotai, you go with the rabbi. Take it easy, slowly. When it comes to learn Torah, slowly, relax, easy, digest it. Like food, you don't want to swallow and you don't want to choke. Same thing about the Torah. If you want it to stay by you, you got to try to, you have to swallow it, you have to chew it, swallow it, and then digest it, and then you're going to be satiated. So same thing by the Torah. Rabotai B'ezrat Hashem, maybe you have the zuchut to be able to learn the Torah properly. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.